I'm Dave Kaiser, and thanks for joining us for the Maple Grove City Report, joined by Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
We are here in October to talk about the October 7th meeting, also a meeting that happened before, focused on the community center, and a number of things coming up in the fall season in the city, so we'll bring those to you in just a minute. Let's start with the meeting before the meeting. That was the work session for the City Council to talk about the community center. So bring us up to date. A lot of discussion going on, a lot of input being gathered. Where are we now? What are the next steps?
Yep, so this was a joint City Council Park Board work session, and it was an opportunity for them to meet with the consultants that have been working on this master planning process for the community center and the campus. We've been in, over the last few months, working on kind of the community engagement aspects of that. So there was an open house held, there was a survey available on the website. We did a statistically significant survey through the mail kind of process, and then there were a number of kind of focus groups or stakeholder meetings that were held. And so the purpose of this workshop was really to kind of gather up all of that input from that community engagement process and report that back out to the City Council and to the Park Board. The next steps in the process are kind of to put pen to paper a bit and think about what changes could occur in terms of any remodeling or expansion of that facility. We continue in discussions with Lifetime Fitness about their future plans and their interest potentially in building a new club out on the corner. Still a little preliminary, but we continue in those discussions as we move through this process. You know, some of the big, I think, findings or outcomes of that community engagement process were certainly we've been well aware that our senior center is a bit, pinched for space, and so there's a lot of desire to expand that, and then more things for the seniors to do within that building. So ideas like a walking track within that building. We certainly have interest in more group fitness space and maybe even a fitness center type thing. Those are things we have to work out with Lifetime as we go forward. But other ideas, a lot of interest in the aquatic offerings in the building, more common gathering spaces. You know, there was a high desire for a coffee shop cafe, and which we all kind of found funny that we have a shortage of those in Maple Grove, as you know. So but I think it's just that desire within the building to really have a common gathering space for people, whether their kids are there doing something or they're there doing something, kind of a place to stop and rest and visit for a bit. And additionally, that banquet space, meeting room space is a high value thing for the community center, and certainly some needs around that. So next steps in the process, like I said, getting pen to paper and starting to do some drawings, and then some cost estimates preliminarily on what that might look like. So we anticipate being back with the Park Board and the City Council probably towards the end of the year, maybe late November, December timeframe, and then this part of the work, this master planning exercise, is planned to be wrapped up shortly after the new year here. So we're looking forward to these next steps in the process. Yeah,
very interesting process. And again, it's not just looking to what is the need for today. You're trying to project 10, 15, 20 years out into the future. So that's where it gets a little cloudy, I would guess. But again, you're seeing the senior population grow, and that's a good problem to have. You're certainly seeing seniors that want to be at the community center. Yeah. And that should continue.
It will. And I think the other piece is just really kind of thinking about the trends in community centers and what various community centers around the country are doing. A lot of interest in kind of these adventure, activities, adventure sports, a lot of, these ninja courses, those kinds of things. And a lot of times you can create a flexible space that then, things can change out within those spaces to accommodate kind of what's the new thing. I think what we find is that, once families have been to the Maple Maze 6 times, they're looking maybe for something new.
Right.
And there are new offerings in Maple Grove today for families on the private side to do that. So refreshing some of those spaces, I think, will be of value.
All right, more to come as it comes to the council. We'll give you updates on that process. Let's move to the meeting on the 7th. It was about 50 minutes long. A couple items pulled off the consent agenda. One was authorization to recruit assistant police chief, and there was some discussion amongst the council that maybe a few more pieces of information needed to be coming on this. What was the final decision on that?
Yeah, so we've been working on kind of thinking about that police department leadership structure. We had one of our police captains moved on to be a chief in another department, and so we've really been kind of taking a look at that and thinking what the needs are of the department going forward. So the council wanted to kind of take a step back and revisit this again, so we'll be having a workshop coming up here next Monday the 14th on that topic.
Very good. One other item pulled was talking about solar, and this is something we've talked about a few times, and obviously the Hindu temple just did something on their own in this, and now the city is looking at doing something. Tell us about the variety of buildings you're looking at and what this was on the agenda.
Yeah, so if you recall, we did a work session a few weeks back talking about some opportunities for us to explore some energy efficiency and some solar installations on city facilities. This piece of it was a contract with a company called Ideal Energies, and so they would do kind of, there's a program through Xcel Energy that's kind of a small scale installation, about a 40 kilowatt installation that we would look to do on a couple of our fire stations and a portion of the community center roof over in the ice arena area that probably wouldn't be impacted by any remodeling. So some of these tax credit programs that you can take advantage of that are out there with the private investors, they're timed out by year, and so there was a need to kind of move forward on these. So we're going to be moving forward with both the work with the consultant Apex on that engineering study, but then also this was for those smaller solar installations on a couple facilities. So we're continuing to move forward on that, and there was just some questions on the contract.
All right, so keep your eyes to the roofs of city buildings. You may see something popping up in the near future. Final note was something that is occurring right now in October. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and one of the council members wanted to just highlight some of the activities and why this is so important.
Yeah, so Domestic Violence Awareness Month is a really important initiative for the city of Maple Grove. We've done a lot internally with training our police officers in terms of making sure that they know what the resources are and how to respond in those situations and helping families through these very difficult times. We have partnered with St. Joseph the Worker is kind of leading this initiative on the Purple Lights initiative. They've kind of been trying to get as many cities on board as they can. So it's not only the Purple Lights, but it's also kind of that time for education and awareness and making sure that people know that there are resources, there's help out there. Our police officers are trained and they know what the resources are, and so we really encourage people to reach out, call 911 if they find themselves in a situation of needing help, and we're there to help, and we want to make sure they know that there's resources available to them. So if you get down to the police department after dusk nowadays, the front of the police department is lit up with purple lights, and then we have Town Green cycling with purple lights as well, just to draw attention to this important issue for the community in October.
And the city did have a proclamation related to this as well, so again, information can be found related to that proclamation. Let's move ahead to some of the public hearings that were held. One was a right-of-way that was discussed. This has to do with Havenwood. Again, remind us where Havenwood is and why this was important.
Yeah, so this is the northwest corner of 101 and Bass Lake Road, just south of Lord of Life Church there. Another step in the process for this project moving forward. We needed to vacate a bit of right-of-way to realign kind of that access road that'll run between the church and the senior housing, and then there'd be another outlot for, I think they were looking at potentially a daycare there also on the corner. So just another step in the process and getting right-of-way cleaned up to allow them to move forward.
And that was approved. Moving ahead, the next is South Prominence. This is a plan for 19 single-family lots, although a little twist to this one, a little different. There are 2 existing lots in this area. Give us a little background, and there was a little discussion as well that went on about this.
Yeah, so this is in an area kind of in the southwest corner of the city between Fieldstone and then 64th Avenue. So we have a few lots left out there, large lot, single family, where some of those homeowners are starting to transition and sell. These are larger, like 5-10 acre type homesteads, and so this was kind of one of the ones that's left out there. This is 19 lot subdivision by Gagne. A couple of the homesteads, the home in and of itself will remain with a lot for some time, but the new homes would be built in and around that. little bit of adjustment to the roads. There was some concern about the bus stops and road alignment between Rainier goes to the north there. So we did shift the road a little bit to the east. We've worked things out with Wayzata School District in terms of bus stops. And, you know, I think one of the things is bus stops change, you know, depending on who moves into this neighborhood, how many kids are living there.
Sure.
You know, they may need to tweak their bus routes as well. So what we try to do is the best planning that we can and providing those pedestrian connections. So there will be a sidewalk extension allowing for kids to get across the road up to Rainier. I think all of those issues kind of got settled at the end,
Okay.
and this one gained approval.
All right, very good. So that's the last public hearing. Now on to updates from different departments. One was community development, and if you like groundbreakings and grand openings, you're in luck in the next
Yeah.
couple of weeks. Heidi,
Yeah.
give us the list.
Yeah, 'tis the season.
Yeah.
So Hy-Vee will be doing their grand opening ribbon cutting next, I think it's Tuesday afternoon.
The 15th, I believe?
Yes. I'm sorry, in the morning, at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we're really looking forward to that, and I suspect they'll be getting information out to the broader
Sure.
community about that, but the council's very excited. And then we'll be moving over to Beehive for their ribbon cutting later or I think it's the next day. This is the memory care facility located just south of Boston Scientific there off of Weaver Lake Road as you go west of 94. And then we'll also be celebrating the groundbreaking for Silver Creek on Main and their Phase 2 expansion. So this is the expansion that's right between the existing Silver Creek on Main there, right at the corner of Main Street and Weaver. And
Right.
then Applewood Point, of course, is just to the east. So this is that expansion right in the middle of those two projects.
Very good. So that's October for you. Then
Yeah.
jump ahead to November. There's
Yeah.
another one that's coming up, and this has been much anticipated, the shops area. How are things going there?
You know, things are really coming along. It's open to pedestrian traffic. I am not sure about vehicular. I know they were allowing that pavement to cure there.
Okay.
So make sure that was good and solid before they were allowing vehicle traffic there. But some of the built environment is already completed, the pergolas, those kinds of things. I know they're working on adding the landscaping, some of the seating and some of the fire, you know, and water elements out there. So November 14th, they're planning on a ribbon cutting out there,
Fantastic.
just right in advance of the holiday shopping season
Perfect
kicking
timing.
off. So we're really excited to see them, bringing that project to a close.
Very nice.
Yep.
Final notes from community development, just another look ahead. We've talked about the master plans, and we're getting closer. When are they going to be coming to Planning Commission and Council?
Yeah, so this is for the northwest area, kind of west of 94, north of 610, and then also the gravel mining area south. So
Okay.
kind of just due east of Lowe's there, south of Elm Creek Boulevard. A little strip that we're focusing on the north side of Elm Creek Boulevard too, but
Okay.
really those kind of the two far corners of the city.
Yeah.
So we'll be wrapping up that work here in the next few weeks, and those will be coming through the Planning Commission and City Council process.
All right, we'll keep you up to date on that. Now moving to engineering and public works, and a key topic there has recently been Territorial Road.
Yep.
And we have another update for you. How is the road coming along? And not only that road, but the road that's affecting it.
Yeah, so we have heard that Rush Creek Parkway is going to be finishing up their paving work here in the next few days.
Great.
And that road will likely be opened here within the next 3 to 5 days. The action that the council took was to give staff authority to reopen Territorial Road once we have assurance about Rush Creek Parkway being back open. And then once that is underway, or once that takes place, we will commence with some of our additional traffic study to really look at speeds and volume out there. And so those things will probably be coming back to the council more in the November timeframe.
All right.
Yep.
And that time frame again that will open, we're recording this on October 9th, so by the end of this week, correct?
Potentially,
So
yeah. We'll
10,
keep an
11
eye on how that
timeframe.
paving goes. I know we've got good weather through today.
Yes.
So we'll see how
Could change.
how that goes along.
We'll see.
Yep.
Final note from engineering was just connections with other departments throughout the state of Minnesota, and here's one with the county.
Yeah.
So as people change there, you pay attention to that, don't you?
We do, and they've had some key retirements at the county.
Okay.
You know, not unlike many big
Right.
organizations. And so they've hired a new assistant administrator that'll be kind of in the public works transportation area. Lisa Cerny is her name. She comes from the city of Minneapolis, and so we have the opportunity to go down and meet with them and talk about what really are our priorities here in Maple Grove from a transportation investment perspective. So we're looking forward to that and forming those new relationships. They're important to us accomplishing our goals out here.
And that county connection is really maybe more important than people know. slow in the city of Maple Grove because of all the county roads you
Yep.
have. So if any work is considered on a county road, even I know later in the meeting it was discussed about Elm Creek Boulevard.
Yes.
And that's one of those that would be county road. Is that correct?
Yeah, Elm Creek Boulevard is a county road. Yep.
So
Yep.
certainly the county connection is important.
It
We'll
is.
see how that moves along. Let's get to your update. Just one item mentioned. You have a meeting coming up later this week on October 10th, and this is for a position that you're replacing, correct?
Yeah, so our economic development manager, Carrie Willie, left to move out of state earlier this summer, and so we've been in the process of a recruitment, so we're interviewing some candidates on Thursday evening, and we're looking forward to getting that position filled.
Very good.
Yep.
So that is the recap of the meeting from the 7th. Again, about 50 minutes long. We'll tell you the next meeting date in just a couple minutes. But let's hop to some other items that are happening around the city. And recently you had some visitors in town
Yep.
to talk about two very important projects. Tell us the projects and how that visit went.
Yeah, so over the last 6 weeks, we've hosted both the House Capital Investment Committee and the Senate Capital Investment Committee. We've toured them both through our North Metro Range expansion project as well as the Trunk Highway 610 completion project. So we've had an opportunity to have them out to the range and show them kind of our needs for expansion and kind of how we want to innovate in that facility to provide kind of that scenario-based training facility with that 360 surround video type training, scenario-based training facility. So it's been a great opportunity to show them kind of how many partners we have. We serve 19 different agencies out of that facility. We're running that facility pretty much, full-time, and we really have the opportunity here to think about, planning for the future and expansion to better serve not only the folks that are there today, but also potential new agencies that might be seeking those types of training spaces. So great opportunity there, and then, get out and show the 610 project. It's kind of an easy story to tell right now. A lot of congestion out there on 94 at that 610 corridor, and our ability to complete that project and complete those ramps, make that connection out to County Road 30 is really important. Our goal is to get that project done kind of at the tail end of the work that they're going to be doing out on I-94 over the next couple of years, and so we're hitting it on all fronts right now, trying to line up that funding for that project. And so this is just another step in that process as we move, start to prepare for the 2020 session.
For the session coming up. Very good. All right. Happy birthday to mention here, or anniversary for the American Legion that serves Osseo and Maple Grove. This is a grand event. Tell us about it.
So the 100th anniversary of the Osseo Maple Grove American Legion. They had some festivities there last Saturday, but they've always, they've served the cities of Osseo, Brooklyn Park, and Maple Grove for many years. This is Legion Post 172. So I know Phil Leith on our council was able to attend that event, Councilmember Leith, on Saturday, and we were glad to be a part of it and provided them a proclamation of support as well.
Very good.
Yep.
Congratulations to them. Heidi mentioned earlier a little bit about getting before holiday shopping. Well, here's another reason more people may be coming to Maple Grove to holiday shop.
Yeah.
If you love Disney, you might want to stop into a store in Maple Grove. What's happening?
Yeah, so the Maple Grove Target was selected to be one of the new Disney stores that are within the confines of the Target stores. So we were really excited to be, the one in, I think there were 25 across the country that were selected to be home to this. I haven't gotten up there to see it yet, but we had a post on social media, and there was a lot of interest in it being
I
out
can
there,
imagine.
so.
All right, stop
fun
in and
item.
take a look at that.
Yep.
Let's talk about job openings in the city of Maple Grove for a minute. Always try to keep you up to date on what might be some positions coming up, and you have a few right now. Tell us about those.
Well, we're still recruiting for patrol officers.
Okay,
We're kind of a perpetual recruitment there. Park keeper position we have open right now. That's open through Friday, October 18th. The officer position is open through Wednesday, October 16th. And then we're also recruiting for a fire prevention specialist / fire inspector. Little tweak to this position. We're adding in some fire inspector duties with this one. That's an area of high activity that we continue, to experience, and so we're wanting to have that person have both skill sets. And that one's open through the 18th of October at 4:30 p.m.
Very good. Let's talk fire here in a second, but want to mention one more time. We have it in our notes, the Purple Lights Initiative, and Heidi talked about that earlier. Again, stop by the government center, the police offices to see those lights, but again, look for more information about Domestic Violence Awareness. Fire Prevention Week, we are in that week. What goes on and what should people be thinking about in this important week?
Yeah, so this is October 6th through the 12th, and the theme for this year is Not Every Hero Wears a Cape, Plan and Practice Your Escape.
Very
So
good.
this is really about kind of planning what you're going to do at your house if you encounter a fire. And we don't think about structure fires real often, but we have them. Lately it's been quite often. We've had structure fires in Maple Grove, and so they happen. A lot of times they get started in a garage. We see that real frequently with various things happening in there with electrical or flammable materials, that kind of a thing, but they can quickly move into a home. And we see fires start everywhere, so I think it's really important for families to have awareness and create a plan for what they're going to do if this would happen.
So more information not only through the city's website, but also Maple Grove Fire Prevention on Facebook, so you can find out some of their information there. All right, fall season, leaves are falling, streets are dirty. We're going to get out and take care of this. Let's start with the street sweeping. What is the schedule?
Yeah, so we're out getting the streets swept right now. We always start in areas where maybe there's not a lot of tree cover, and because all the leaves haven't fallen yet. And so we're hoping that we can get that done before we're out plowing. So hopefully this weekend won't be a big snow event, and that we can continue with this fall cleanup work. But you'll notice the public works crews coming through your neighborhood.
All right, and as the leaves continue to fall, you've got a site that we can take these leaves and other goodies to. Tell us a little bit more about the Yardway site.
Really busy time of the year at the Yardway site up there off of Maple Grove Parkway, just north of 610. So if you're a Maple Grove resident, all you have to do is bring your ID showing that, and we take all kinds of materials up there. Yardway site is open from 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and then Sundays 11 to 7. Information available on our website about the materials that are accepted.
All right, let's hop back to the community center, give you a few updates of what's happening there, or maybe in this first case, what's not happening quite yet. How about swimmers? What's going on?
Yeah, our pools remain closed. We are doing some flooring projects. We needed to replace a lot of the flooring in kind of the family locker rooms and the shower areas. We were having some issues in there. So project ended up being a little bit more than we had anticipated, and so the pools will remain closed through October 21st. If you've had swimming lessons or things like that, I know our staff has been working to get those rescheduled into different facilities and communicating with those users. So we're looking forward to those pools getting back open here later in October.
All right, that'll happen soon. But what is going strong at the community center, amongst everything else, is the farmers market. So we still have an outdoor chance, but not much of a break till indoor time.
Yeah, so we have 3 more outdoor markets left in the season, 3 to 6 p.m. We've trimmed up the hours a bit because we get darker sooner. The last day of the outdoor market is October 24th, and that's the day that the kids can come in costume and trick or treat with the vendors. And then we'll quickly turn inside. Thursday, November 7th is our first indoor market, and we have about 20 vendors lined up for that day, and that time for that is again 3 to 6 p.m. November 7th.
All right, and perfect lead into our final note here, trick-or-treating. If you want to get the kids out to have some fun, 2 opportunities coming up at the city. Give us some information.
So Maple Grove Community Organization hosts their annual Happy Halloween Family Fun Day on Saturday, October 19th. This takes place over at Weaver Lake Park from 1 to 4. There is a registration required for this one, and you can find that at maplegrovedays.org. That's their website. I think if you just Google Maple Grove Days, that'll come up for you. And then the Arbor Lakes Business Association celebrates the season on Saturday, October 26th from 10 to 2, and so families can come dressed in costume and then for the fall festival, and then enjoy all the activities along Main Street. And I know a lot of the businesses are out for trick-or-treating, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, lots of fun there. So 2 great events, and if you haven't been to the one at Weaver Lake Park, they really dress up that park. Some of the climbing apparatus there, you won't recognize it because it has a Halloween look to it. Heidi, thank you very much again for the information here. Let's leave folks with some more information of where they can contact the city to find out what's going on. Some of the job openings we mentioned, street sweeping, yard waste, all of that, maplegrovemn.gov, the place to go. Next meeting is October 21st. 7:30 at the Government Center. Phone number to the city at the bottom of the screen. And as always, the review response line 533-1710. Questions or comments about the program, we'd be happy to answer those. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.